Let's get right into it. Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into part 14 of an absolutely massive 15-part tutorial on modern telecommunications. This whole series comes from Virtualization Options LLC. They're this really fantastic Colorado-based technology research, education, and advisory organization. And in this specific chapter, chapter 14, we are mapping out a pretty wild evolution. We're going to trace our roots from the raw copper wires of the very first telegraphs all the way up to the AI-driven cloud-converged networks we're running today.
To help keep us on track, here is our roadmap for the explainer. First, foundations of modern connectivity. Then, the digital and data revolution. Third, the evolution of voice. Fourth, optical and wireless infrastructure. Fifth, network management and layers. And finally, cloud convergence and automation.
Section 1. Foundations of modern connectivity. Now, the historical timeline of telecom isn't just about things getting faster, right? It's really a story of a century and a half of relentless architectural teardowns. I mean, we started out with Samuel Morse just pulsing electricity over copper wire back in the 1840s. Fast forward to the digital revolution in the 70s, those IP-based next-generation networks in the 2000s, and today? Well, today we are staring down the barrel of 6G systems operating at terahertz frequencies. Every single era completely rewrote the rules for how data flows. To survive all this complexity, you really just have to keep the classic three-layer hierarchy in mind. At the base, you've got the physical layer, your cables, antennas, and raw media. In the middle is the logical layer, the protocols and switching that actually give data its structure. And up top is the application layer, the voice, video, and web delivery that users actually care about. Literally every technology we cover today anchors right back to this exact framework. Moving on to Section 2, the digital and data revolution. So the mathematical bridge that actually took us from analog to digital is the Nyquist-Shannon sampling process. To capture a human voice, engineers figured out they needed to sample it 8,000 times a second, and then quantize each sample into 8 bits. Well, 8,000 times 8? That's 64,000 bits per second. And that is exactly why 64 kilobits per second remains the foundational magic number for global digital telephony, even today. Kinda cool, right? And of course, to organize all those digital rules, the industry handed us the OSI reference model. It's the indispensable map for how raw bits turn into reliable transport streams. Layer 1 is your cables and raw bits. Layer 2 frames them up with MAC addresses and switches. Layer 3 handles the IP addressing and routing. And Layer 4 brings in TCP or UDP for that end-to-end delivery. All right, Section 3, the evolution of voice. This transition was a massive paradigm shift. The legacy public switch telephone network relied on circuit switching. So when you made a call, a dedicated physical path was reserved just for you. Highly reliable? Sure, but incredibly wasteful because it tied up capacity even during total silence. Voice over IP completely flipped the script. It digitizes voice, chunks it into UDP datagrams, and sends it over IP using statistical multiplexing. Basically, it overbooks the network, which turns out to be phenomenally efficient for bursty real-world traffic. And you probably felt this shift right at your own desk. VoIP completely disrupted telecom by just dumping voice calls onto the exact same data network we use for everything else. Those giant, proprietary, headache-inducing PBX hardware boxes sitting in the IT closet, poof, replaced practically overnight with software running on standard servers. Section 4. Optical and wireless infrastructure. Optical fiber is the true backbone of the modern world, and honestly, the physics behind it are just elegant. Thanks to total internal reflection, light literally bounces off the boundaries of a glass core without escaping. It completely shattered the old distance and noise limits of copper, letting us push signals for tens of kilometers before they even need a boost. Over on the wireless side, though, maintaining seamless voice was a massive headache. With legacy CSFB systems, if you were browsing on LTE and a call came in, your phone literally had to drop that fast data connection, switch to a 2G or 3G tower, and add up to 8 seconds of delay just to connect the call. Voice over LTE finally fixed this. By using an all-IP multimedia subsystem, you get an instantaneous connection while keeping your data session wide open. Section 5. Network management and layers. A huge part of managing all this modern complexity was the introduction of network function virtualization, or NFV. And it is an absolute game changer. Network operators no longer have to buy these highly specialized, incredibly expensive proprietary hardware boxes just to route traffic or secure a network. Instead, they just run those network functions as software on commodity x86 data center servers. The cost savings and flexibility are absolutely staggering. Now, to manage all this virtual and physical gear, we rely on modern management layers, which really represents a massive operational shift. Back in the day, operators were glued to the element layer, literally just staring at flashing lights on individual routers. Today, the focus is way up the stack, at the service and business layers. The question is no longer, is the router powered on? It's, is the customer's end-to-end video stream buffering? And exactly how much revenue are we losing if it is? Which brings us to Section 6, Cloud Convergence and Automation.
Today, the lines are completely blurred. Telecommunication services now run natively as cloud-hosted applications, while hyperscale cloud providers, your AWS, Azure, Google, are functionally operating as massive global network operators. For the IT pro, this means telecom engineers now basically have to be data center orchestration experts, managing thousands of containerized network functions that are dynamically scaling in the cloud.
And because these converged systems are just so vast and complex, networks now rely heavily on closed-loop automation, often called MAPE-K. The system continuously monitors telemetry, analyzes it using AI, plans corrections, and executes changes. And this happens in milliseconds. It manages radio resources, routes around congestion, and completely removes human operators from routine day-to-day operational events. Which leaves us with a pretty profound question to end on. As 6G and AI-driven automation remove human engineers from the loop entirely, who actually controls the future architecture of our connected world? As the network learns to manage, heal, and optimize itself with zero human intervention, where exactly does the IT professional fit into the intelligent networks of tomorrow? It is a fascinating paradigm shift for sure, and one that absolutely redefines the very nature of infrastructure management.